Okay, I'm going to run you through the ordering of your folio in preparation for writing of your outcome. So in the public drive, in my folder, Research Project 2017 folio, and in the templates, you'll find two templates that will be of use for you, hopefully. One is an example, and it's my shark culling example. The other is the Key Findings Pages Scaffold. It looks like this here. It's a very simple Word document. You can add more details to it as you go. These bottom sections down here are only relevant if you decide to use one of these pages as one of your folio pages for assessment at the end. These sections up here, very simple. As it says, reference details is where you cut and paste or type in your reference details, which might be a website, might be the details of a book, might be a survey source, etc. Key points from the source is where you detail what are the actual points that you'd like to include from that source in your final outcome. When you have done that, it might look something similar to what I've got here. This is the example that I've made from my shark culling folio, and I'll show you that again in a moment. So from one of the articles that I've had a look at from the Shark Angels website, from Jay Anderson, so as you can see, the reference details are up here. Key points from the source, these are the kinds of pieces of information that, having read through the source, I'd like to include in my outcome. Now this is my folder, okay, where I've got all of my sources filed away. So for example, my cover page, my question, should governments cull sharks as a public safety measure? I've got my various bits and pieces of planning at the front of my folio. Then I've got my key findings sections, and in each of my key findings I've got a rough idea of what I want the topic of that key finding to be, and a few ideas to break it down, along with a bit of brainstorming that I did over, where I could get information from. Then what I've done is filed away my articles that I've got that relate to that particular question. So WA surfers support government shark cull goes into my section on the Western Australian Government's shark culling program. Key finding number 2, where I was going to contrast the New South Wales and Queensland government programs, I've got an article about shark culling in Queensland. I've got another one that talks about shark culls with 80% of Australians being opposed. You can see from these articles that, yeah, I've read them, but I haven't done a full-on breakdown of them. I haven't made them into folio pages that I might use for submission at moderation as yet. Okay, so I've read them, I've made some notes, I've chosen, like I might have highlighted what my main points of information are from them so that I know. There's a couple in my third key finding area, which is about public opinion, an article from the Advertiser, which I've done my credibility and relevance checks and things on, and that's a page that might go in as a folio example page. And then this is the article from the Shark Angels one, which was the shark cull, where I've also done my credibility and reliability checks, and I've pulled out what are the key points of information from the article and how might it actually be used in my outcome, along with some other articles that I've got that relate to these types of areas. Okay, so having used this article here, if I go back to my my outcome, my key findings page. So this is from key finding number 3, and from that article, these are the details that I want to use. From the other article that I've got there, these are some of the details that I want to use. From a transcript from a television show, these are some of the details that I want to use. And I'd keep coursing this, it might be my student survey. Of course, it helps if I can spell. And in this section, I then might detail, I want to use questions 3, 4, and 7 as graphs that relate to, and whatever they happen to be, okay? So I keep adding detail and information like that to my key findings section. If you need to, you can then add in more of these areas, just cut and paste into your document until you've got all of the information that you want to include in that key finding area compiled together. By compiling it together like this, you're giving yourself a structure for your outcome. With all of your information collected together, you should be able to map up what needs to go into that area quite easily. And as I said, this down here, the reflection, the comparison, analysis, how this information may be used, they're just prompts to hopefully help you if you decide to use this as a folio page to be able to do a bit of analysis on that later on. You might also include in there your capability, so you might have some information about how the information that you've collected has helped with regards to your capability, whether it be ethics or whether it be communication or whatever it happens to be. So I hope that makes sense, and I hope that helps you get organised for writing your outcome. Good luck.